Thanks for tuning in to this week's news recap. FTX considers reopening as FTT token surges. Cryptocurrency exchange FTX, which collapsed in November, is considering reopening in the future, according to FTX's bankruptcy attorneys from Sullivan Cromwell. FTX's FTT token more than doubled in price after the news broke. Lead attorney Andy Dederich informed the court that restarting the exchange is one of many potential options being considered, with no decisions being final yet. Dederich revealed that the $7.3 billion in recovered assets include $2 billion in cash and $4.3 billion in Category A crypto, such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. A potential restart to be assessed this quarter may require raising additional capital and could involve a 363 sale, selling the firm's assets to pay creditors. Talks regarding the restart are underway with FTX's official committee of unsecured creditors. Former FTX head of institutional sales, Zane Tackett, suggested that the exchange relaunch and offer a token representing creditor claims, providing value to creditors and immediate liquidity for those who wish to sell off their claims. Tackett cited Bitfinex's BFX token as a successful example. He believes FTX could succeed if run, quote, like a crypto company, that is, quote, able to be nimble. FTX faces massive legal fees amidst bankruptcy. FTX faced more than $30 million in legal bills and consultant fees in February, with over 35,400 hours of work logged by 6 firms, according to compensation reports filed in bankruptcy court. Sullivan Cromwell charged the largest amount, billing $13.5 million for their services, while Alvarez and Marcel billed $12 million. FTX's February tab was slightly smaller than January's $38 million bill. Meanwhile, a bankruptcy court judge denied former FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried's motion to access a $10 million insurance policy to cover his legal expenses. Judge John Dorsey stated that Bankman-Fried did not provide evidence or establish cause for the request. However, the judge noted that SBF can return with evidence at a later time. Companies typically have director and officer liability insurance to protect executives from legal action. The official committee of unsecured creditors had objected to the motion, stating any cash he might receive could instead go to FTX creditors. And here's the rest of your FTX roundup. A Delaware bankruptcy court judge ordered that Alameda Research, the trading arm of FTX, should be repaid nearly $53 million for a loan made in 2021 to Deltec International Group. In addition, Alameda Research-backed Ren Protocol will transfer all of its pegged assets, including Bitcoin and Dogecoin, to FTX trading. Lastly, FTX was given the green light by a Swiss court to explore the potential sale of its European business arm, FTX Europe AG, after the holding company filed for a Swiss moratorium proceeding. Winklevoss twins loan $100 million to Gemini amid struggles. Billionaire founders of Gemini, Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss, have reportedly loaned $100 million to their crypto exchange. The personal loan comes after unsuccessful attempts to secure external funding. Since last year, Gemini has faced multiple challenges during the crypto downturn. FTX's collapse sparked the bankruptcy of crypto lender Genesis Global Holdco, which significantly impacted Genesis. In February, Gemini and Genesis agreed in principle to resolve their dispute, with Gemini contributing up to $100 million. However, the Winklevoss loan will be used to fund operations, not the Genesis dispute resolution. SEC summons Tron's Justin Sun, Soulja Boy, and Austin Mahone. The Securities and Exchange Commission issued a summons for Tron founder Justin Sun, DeAndre Cortez Way, aka rapper Soulja Boy, and YouTuber Austin Mahone, following a civil complaint from last month which involves tokens issued by Tron and BitTorrent that the SEC has deemed as unregistered securities offerings. If Sun, Mahone, and Soulja Boy do not respond within 21 days, a default judgment will be entered against them. The SEC is seeking to bar Sun and his companies from offering securities, including digital assets, again, and to impose civil penalties. Way and Mahone may face bans on receiving money for future digital asset endorsements and pay their own penalties. In related news, Binance US delisted Tron's TRX token, resulting in a 6.4% decline in its value. The exchange cited its responsive digital asset monitoring process and changing industry circumstances for the delisting decision, stating that a token may be subject to review when it no longer meets their, quote, high standards. Solana's Saga smartphone with crypto features launches in May. Solana Labs is launching its crypto-focused Saga smartphone on May 8th. The Android device features custom add-ons, a seed vault for securely storing private keys, and a dedicated dApp store for crypto applications. Priced at $1,000, the Saga aims to bring crypto capabilities to mobile users, but will only include Saga-based protocols, leaving out the most used applications like Curve, Aave, and Balancer. For a better understanding of how it actually works, check out the review done by Unchained reporter Jeff Benson. Tether blacklists validator who exploited MEV bots. Tether blacklisted the wallet address of a rogue validator who managed to front-run maximal extractable value, or MEV bots, last week, amassing $25 million in profits. The validator's wallet holds $3 million worth of USDT. MEV bots, which have extracted an estimated $1.38 billion from users, have been widely criticized in the decentralized finance community. Tether's decision to blacklist the validator has sparked protests from industry experts. As Lefteris Karapetsis, founder of Rotki app, tweeted, quote, MEV bots have been slaughtering retail users via sandwiching for years. Nobody blacklists them. Somebody dare fool a MEV bot and give them a taste of their own medicine, and they get blacklisted. Polygon co-founder Jane T. Cannon called it, quote, a bad precedent. SushiSwap is hit by a $3 million exploit. A SushiSwap exploit led to a $3 million loss from user 0x Sifu's wallet due to an improve-related bug in the code. SushiSwap CEO Jared Gray confirmed the exploit and advised users to revoke permissions for contracts on the platform. Gray also stated that over 300 ETH had been recovered, and the team was working with Lido to recover another 700 ETH. White Hat hackers helped return some funds, but their efforts were hindered by MEV bots that replicated and executed the exploit. SushiSwap is working on a retrieval plan to secure stolen funds and compensate affected users. Furthermore, SushiSwap is preparing to launch a claims website for vested sushi tokens held in its Merkle distributor contract, with unclaimed tokens being directed to SushiSwap's treasury after April 23rd. Nexus Mutual seeks return of $2 million from Euler Finance hack victims. DeFi insurance protocol Nexus Mutual is looking to recover $2 million in claims paid out to victims of the Euler Finance hack, as users have since redeemed their funds. Following the return of the stolen funds by the hacker, Euler Finance enabled user redemptions, totaling $133 million. However, 5 policyholders have yet to repay the claims received from Nexus Mutual. The policy terms state that in the event of funds being returned by the hacker, the claim value must be returned to Nexus Mutual. The insurer is considering potential legal action against those who haven't returned their claims. U.S. lawmakers probe Circle and BlockFi's banking terms with Silicon Valley Bank. This week, U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren and Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez sent letters to Circle and BlockFi, among 14 firms, questioning their decision to bank with the now-collapsed Silicon Valley Bank. The lawmakers are investigating SVB's potential, quote, white glove treatment of certain depositors, including possible mutual back-scratching arrangements that may have led to massive uninsured deposits. Circle and BlockFi held approximately $3.5 billion in uninsured deposits at SVB, with Circle accounting for $3.3 billion. The letters, addressed to Circle CEO Jeremy Allaire and BlockFi CEO Zach Prince, inquire about the history of their relationships with SVB, amounts deposited and maintained, and any investment relationships between their firms, their related entities, and SVB. In other regulatory developments, the SEC's Investor Advisory Committee requested that the SEC provide formal guidance for the crypto industry, but is still endorsing Chair Gary Gensler's efforts to enforce securities laws. Meanwhile, Wyoming Attorney General Bridget Hill filed a motion to intervene in Custodia Bank's lawsuit against the Federal Reserve Board and Kansas City Fed. The lawsuit alleges that they unfairly delayed and denied the crypto-friendly bank's application for a master account and membership. Hill seeks to defend, quote, the legitimacy and viability of Wyoming's Special Purpose Depository Institution, or SPDI framework, which the Fed reportedly criticized as inadequate. Arbitrum community against proposal to return 700 million tokens. Following the controversial Arbitrum Foundation proposal last week, the community is now voting over a new proposal, AIP 1.05, which calls for the return of 700 million ARB tokens, quote, unjustly allocated to the foundation. The proposal also asks for a token buyback from market maker Wintermute and disclosure of the Arbitrum Foundation's deal terms with Wintermute. However, this AIP is not getting much traction, as over 80% of voters are against it. The proposal's author has also requested putting AIP 1.1 and AIP 1.2 on hold until community faith in the governance process is restored. Some community members believe the new proposal goes too far, calling it an overkill. Bitcoin reaches the $30,000 line. Bitcoin surpassed the $30,000 mark for the first time since June 2022, continuing a crypto rally that began at the start of the year. So far this year, Bitcoin has risen 89%, while Ether has increased by 59%. Some attribute this surge to the recent bank runs that have called into question the resiliency of the banking system. However, Bitcoin is still down 25% from this time last year. Meanwhile, MicroStrategy's Bitcoin holdings are now in the green, as the cryptocurrency's price rose above the company's average purchase price of $29,803. However, the firm's profit margin remains slim, and a large-scale sale of its holdings could potentially cause prices to drop. Bitcoin Ordinals bug results in 1,200 orphan inscriptions. A bug in the Bitcoin Ordinals protocol caused 1,200 valid inscriptions to be excluded, leading to debates within the community on how to address the issue. Ordinals collector Leonidas.org revealed the bug on Twitter, explaining that it was found in the indexer function of the protocol, which only counts inscriptions in the first input of a transaction. Two potential solutions are being discussed. The first would retroactively index the missing inscriptions, aligning with the on-chain logical ordering. The second solution would change the indexing rules going forward, keeping the current inscription numbers and leaving the orphaned inscriptions out. A Twitter poll indicated that the community leans toward the second option. Zhuoji Zhao, founder of NFT marketplace Magic Eden, argued that history should be immutable. Some believe the orphaned inscriptions could be worth more if a fix is ever made. Time for fun bits. Unchained's Ginny Hogan has a take on Bitcoin reaching $30,000 again.
Oh, I'm really so grateful the Gemini locked their withdrawals, or I would have sold mine months ago. The rally may have something to do with speculation over interest rate hikes, which is the closest a lot of finance guys will come to experiencing PMS. They're not quite sure if it's happening, their mood tanks, and it compels them to buy all kinds of weird shit. Speaking of, is anyone interested in buying my gently used Zamboni? The rally could also be because Bitcoin is seen as a hedge against the traditional banking system. JP Morgan put out a report last week that said recent problems exposed weaknesses in the traditional banking system. No offense, JP, but I don't think recent problems expose shit. The traditional banking system's been running around naked since at least 2008. I mean, thank God for hedges, or it would get arrested for public indecency. A lot of crypto guys are calling Bitcoin's rally a vindication of the crypto ecosystem. I would make a joke about it being revenge of the nerds, except that's just a straightforward description of what it is. Others say that it's related to Bitcoin's halving event that's happening in 2024, but you don't need a big event for that. If you want the crypto market cut in half again, just ask SBF if he has a free second right now.
Thanks so much for joining us today. To learn more about Tim, the Shapella upgrade, and what it means for Ethereum, check out the show notes for this episode. If you've enjoyed this episode of Unchained, please share it with a friend. Unchained is produced by me, Laura Shin, with help from Anthony Yoon, Mark Murdoch, Kevin Fuchs, Matt Pilchard, Zach Seward, Juan Aranovich, Sam Sriram, Ginny Hogan, Ben Munster, Jeff Benson, Leandro Camino, Pam Majumdar, Shashank, and CLK Transcription. Thanks for listening.